Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the all-new Dodge Hornet. Now this particular one has the GT package. Before we get into this review though, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Doug Smith Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Spanish Fork, Utah for giving me some time with this Hornet. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this Hornet is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 21 around town and then 29 on the highway, with power outputs being 268 horsepower and then 295 pound-feet of torque. Now before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see the venting there on either side. It looks so cool, and this gold paint absolutely pops. Coming down below, we've got these really cool daytime running lights, and then look at the LED headlamps. We got the Dodge logo there in the center, and then notice how everything's all blacked out here at the bottom. And putting it all together for a crossover, this thing looks pretty sweet. Coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 235/40/20 in the front and over in the rear as well. You can see the wheels are all blacked out, which contrasts very nicely to the gold paint, and you got the Dodge logo there on the red brake caliper. And by the way, red brake calipers, those work really well with this car. You can see the fender flare here, and then that continues all along the side with the bodywork. Got your little Hornet logo here on the side. And then notice the mirror caps are blacked out, and then also the window trim. And then here's your full side view with the Hornet. I love all of the lines on this car. It looks great, and the gold paint really accentuates it. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock function or lock function, remote start, the opening here for the hatch, and then you got the Dodge logo in the back, and press that a couple times and it'll pop it open. You guys can see we've got a cargo cover built in from the factory, and when it comes to storage space, it's actually really solid. It reminds me of like the Jeep Compass when it comes to overall space. And then we do have a little 12 volt there off to the side. And then if you guys are wondering, this particular hatch is hydraulic, so you do have to lower it down yourself. Now these taillights are so sweet. They have a 3D effect, and then the light bar too. And then notice like little Dodge logo is illuminated. That is one of the coolest things I have ever seen in the car industry. And then you got the Hornet badge, you got the GT badge there off to the side, and then parking sensors at the bottom. Well, putting it all together, who would have thought that a car that was ultimately designed by the Italians and kind of stolen by the Dodge crew would look so good, but it really does. Now, popping inside, really nice soft touch trim here where you're going to rest your arm, and you've got cool red stitching that goes throughout, and then I like this trim up above as well, and then the handle itself, that also looks really cool. And then we got more red stitching here at the seats, and then you have the Alcantara inserts here in the center. And then this trim is pretty much the same as what you have on the sides of the doors, and there you go. Legroom in the back of the Hornet's actually really solid. We got a storage pocket here, we got some vents in the center, some USB action, and I don't know if you guys noticed earlier, but look at the red inside of the Alcantara. That also is cool. And we got cup holder armrest action. And then headroom back here is also really good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you've got nice padding here and then down below, and again, red stitching is probably not going to come up on camera very well right now. But anyways, all of our window controls, look at the mirror adjustment, that's funky looking. Door lock and unlock, and then you do have blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. We got the Dodge logo there at the headrest, and then you guys can see here with the Alcantara inserts. These seats are manually adjustable. And then look at the pedals, those are pretty fancy looking. Got light control right here, and then again, more of the red stitching and padding, and then the steering wheel is also manually adjustable. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, we've got really nice leather trim all around, and then I like to have this like perforated section where your thumbs go so you can get a better hold, and it's actually also on the back of the steering wheel as well. And then we've got all of our practical controls here on the front. This does come with Stellantis's upgraded adaptive cruise control, where you basically just have your hand on the steering wheel and it'll do the steering and driving for you. And then we've got our sport mode here on the steering wheel, and of course regular stocks there on the back. So here is the center gauge cluster. First off, we'll pop it into the sport mode. Everything gets a little bit more aggressive here in the sport mode, as you can see. Kind of see how that feels with the driving experience. But anyways, really cool center gauge cluster. I think they did a really good job with the design. You can scroll through a bunch of different menus here in the center, just like other modern cars, frankly. But yeah, I just like the look of it. Now in reverse, this actually has a 360 camera system, which is really cool. So you can see out of every single angle. This doesn't really need a 360 camera system because it's a pretty small crossover, but it's nice that it has it. Now, diving into the infotainment system, if you've seen my reviews with some of the newer Maseratis, then you'll definitely recognize this infotainment system. It's same. Notice we've got dual zone climate, heated seats, and a heated steering wheel as well. But yeah, really easy to use, and it's kind of funny that it looks just like the Maserati one. More really nice red stitching and padding all over the dash, and then I like the vents here in the center thing. That looks really nice. And then you got your climate controls just down below. And then you can see engine stop start. Got your auto stop start, and then a little 12 volt here with some USB action, and then you can see a little storage area. And then here is the shifter for the 9-speed automatic transmission. It does have a manual shift function, and then you got your volume control. That's really nice. Like, look how high quality that looks. It does have a high quality feel as well. Got your parking brake, and then you can see your ESC off, then your parking sensor off button. Got some cup holder action. And then look at the lid here for the center console. Again, it's got the nice padding you have on the sides of the doors, armrests. And then pretty normal glove box. Looks like, yeah, that's all the same. But here is our window sticker for this Hornet GT. Base MSRP, $29,995, and you get quite a bit of standard equipment for that base MSRP. Now this does have a few options added to it. So we got the tech package. You can see that had stuff like the 360 camera system, your cold weather group. Now this is the GT Blacktop Track Pack bundle. So that's where you get this cool interior, and then it makes it look really cool on the outside. I definitely think this is worth it with this package just because of how much cooler it makes it look. But anyways, you guys can see the total MSRP, $38,915. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors just do have blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let's set off. I am incredibly excited to drive this because I've been waiting a long time to drive it. and this is literally the first new Dodge, right? It is an Alfa Romeo basically, but still, this is the first new Dodge we've gotten in like, what, a decade almost, because the last time we got a new Dodge was the Durango back in like 2014, right? Or I guess you could also consider the Dodge Dart, but I mean that thing's discontinued. But first off, seat comfort's actually really good, so I think that's a big plus. And the seats feel sporty. I like that. I actually like that quite a bit. The turn signal sound, listen to that. It's like, this is weird to say, but it's like, it's got a beefiness to it. The Dodge Hornet has a beefy turn signal. Oh my gosh, the things that I say in car reviews here. But it's not even in sport mode. Wow, that's fun. So we will pop into sport mode for here. Now aside from that, suspension seems to be really comfortable. I like the steering feel too. I think this might be like a really good partnership for Dodge driving this so far, because it's got this excitement to it that you don't normally associate with Dodges, because they have the excitement from the acceleration, from the power, but like it seems like this has a little bit more with the handling and everything. I really like that. Now aside from that, the interior, I mean, you guys saw the walk around, but like it feels really high quality actually. Wow, the transmission's just, it's really snappy, especially in the sport mode. So they did a good job with that. Yeah, the turn signal is so, it's a chunky turn signal sound, that's for sure. And this feels super sharp. Like the steering is very immediate. It's got a sporty Italian feel to it. It really does. So right off the bat, I'm actually super impressed with how this drives. It's very responsive, and it drives like a very sporty SUV. So we're getting up and moving again, and this is a really, I love how this drives. It drives so well. So summing things up here with the new Hornet, I really like it. And this isn't even the most powerful version either. That's the fun part, right? It drives really well. It's comfortable. I think it looks really cool. And again, I think that's a big benefit to Dodge to be sharing a platform with Alfa Romeo, because Alfa Romeo makes some of the most exciting, best handling cars on the planet. And so for Dodge to have that in the lineup, I feel like this is going to bring in a new like enthusiast base to Dodge. And that's the one thing that I will say could be a potential downside with the Hornet, is this has a big focus on things that enthusiasts might appreciate, but your regular, I don't know why I did my turn signal there. Don't worry about me. Anyways, but your regular run-of-the-mill, you know, crossover consumer that's buying Honda and Toyota and all that stuff, they might not care. They might just look at this and go, wait, what's the fuel economy? Well, what safety tech does it have? And, and right, that's the things about, they might not be worried about the acceleration, the handling, and all that. So let me know what you guys think about the new Dodge Hornet, but I think this is like, just like the Mazda CX-5 with the turbo, it's such an exciting, you know, affordable, normal size crossover. I think it's really cool.